If you're a listener of this show, then it's probably because you have or want a simple business. A business where you can help other people while still taking care of yourself and enjoying free time and flexibility. Sounds pretty great, right? Well, in this episode, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of this simplified flow business and break down the ingredients you need to make it happen. So stay tuned. Hey there, I'm Shawn Mynar, and this is Unstuck Entrepreneur. I'm a former nutritionist who turned a struggling, stressful nutrition practice into a thriving, freedom-filled online business where I work from home in my sweatpants while reaching and helping thousands of people all at the same time. Now I'm obsessed with showing other heart-centered coaches, practitioners, and solopreneurs how to build a business and life they love. Consider this podcast your safe space to learn both the inner work and practical strategies required to build the impactful, profitable business of your dreams. No hustle, grind, or long hours required. That's right, hustle culture, not welcome here. Let's get into today's session. Hey there, friends, and welcome back to the Unstuck Entrepreneur podcast. I'm Shawn, your host. Today, we're talking about something that I didn't think we were going to talk about, but I was on my hike this morning, had a whole different episode planned out, and this idea popped in my head of this topic and really honing in on the actual ingredients that you need, all of the ingredients, which there are quite a few, to a simplified flow business, which automatically sounds ridiculous because why would there be all of these ingredients if it's supposed to be simple? But you know what? Sometimes it takes those different ingredients, those different tools to keep things simple and to let things flow. And so while this is something that we talk about a ton here on the show, it is also always done, I think, in kind of like chunks and in different episodes. So I thought it would be nice to have one episode where all of this information is in one spot that you can come back to as you need it and remind yourself what you're supposed to work on next to make this business happen for yourself. And not just any business, but a business that is simplified, that is burnout proof, that doesn't require you constantly being on and available and working so you can have that free time and flexibility. And, that's the goal. That's why I talk about what I talk about, why I teach what I teach, because I am very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about you being the helper that you are and helping the people that you're meant to help, but also not beating yourself up in the process, also giving you the time and space to work on yourself, to have time for yourself and your family and the things you love to do, and to not work all the time, because that's not fun and that's not the point of being here on this planet. So I'm already going off on a tangent. This is what happens when I have random ideas that come to me an hour before I record, is that we have tangents sometimes, and that's okay. So anyway, before we get into those ingredients of your flow simplified business, I want to remind you that I have launched officially the Write Your Website bundle. That is your proven template to have a website that works, get it up and running, have it be a big part of your client attraction system, which is something we're going to talk about. That is an ingredient of what you need to focus on in your business. And the Write Your Website bundle is your place to go if you want it done right the first time, or you want to redo your website and know it's going to be right from here on out, and it's something that is actually working for your business. It is the hub of your business, the home for all of your work and your home on the internet, and a nice, warm, engaging place for your future clients, those people that you want to work with, to come and get the help they need. That is how I created this template for your entire website. And all you have to do is plug and play your messaging, which you'll also figure out as part of the bundle. The Messaging Magic workbook is in there as a bonus. So you will know your messaging and you will simply plug it into the prompts, the formulas, and the template that I have provided for you for all 4 pages of your website. The most important pages: homepage, about page, services page, and contact page. So that's available for you at the introductory offer, which is ending soon, like as in days from when this airs. So make sure that that's something that you check out, see if it's the right fit for you, and if you're ready to have your website work for your business instead of you doing all of the work, this is what I really created for you to do that. ShawnMynar.com/website. Okay, the ingredients for a simplified flow business. Like I said, this came to me on my hike this morning, and I got the idea because I was thinking, I wonder if people think me starting to talk about websites and web copy and really all the copy talk that we've been having here on the show lately is kind of out of left field. If it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, if it doesn't seem like it's part of the overall picture of what I normally talk about and discuss and my overall mission for you and your businesses, I just wonder if it doesn't seem related to talk about website copy, but then also have these programs on Signature Program and email lists and finding your niche and all these things that I do and talk about and share here on the show. And for me, especially as I made the decision to create Write Your Website and for the future things that I will be creating in the copywriting space, that was the most logical next step. It was I had to do it. And not just because I love copywriting, I love writing, and it was fun for me to do, but because it is the missing link for so many of you to having this business that you really want and to making it not feel so hard and be so hard and complicated on you. It's you may be doing what you feel like are all the right things when it comes to your business, but your website is still not where it needs to be. Either it doesn't exist at all, or it is something that was kind of a thrown together thing for you, which is completely understandable. I did the same thing when I first started my business. Absolutely get it. But now you're at this point where that's got to change, and that could quite likely be the reason why your business is stalled or not growing, or you're not getting clients or traction or the things that you were hoping you would have by now in your business. That could be the stopping point right there. So it's something to look at. It's the next step, and it was the next step for me. And I hope now potentially that I have explained that, you can see why they are so interconnected. Everything I do, everything I talk about, and everything I teach in my product suite, if you will, which now there are 5 different options out there that all are based on you creating a simplified flow business and taking the guesswork out of doing that, because I don't want it to take you months, years, however long to make that happen for yourself. I want it to be as painless, as quick, and as energy saving as possible on you, which is why I do what I do. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go behind the scenes of this simplified flow business and see how these things really all work together to make your business successful and profitable, while also still remaining that simple and flexible thing for you as well. Now, caveat, we've talked about all this before. Nothing here is new, but I thought, again, like I mentioned, having all of this in one place would be a good idea for an episode, because I think as I've talked about all of this, they all have their own episodes or their own series on the show instead of it all being in one spot. So that's what we're really doing here. And also just being a good reminder for you, because we talk about a lot of things and sometimes we just need to hear these things over and over again. And then also a reminder for you right now, so that this doesn't get overwhelming, is that you don't have to have all of these in place and working perfectly before you can even launch your business or make your first dollar or make your first sale. That is not what I'm saying here. You hopefully know, if you've been listening to this show for a while, that I'm all about you getting your first, getting scrappy and get your first clients, your first few clients from the very start, so you have some money coming in, and then start working on all of this stuff, including your website. You can have paying clients before you have a website up. Use your network, use your friends and friends of family, and find some people who need your help and offer to help them. So that can all happen right away. And then from there, once you have a few clients under your belt and you're seeing some people, you have some money potentially in the bank or coming in, then start working on this stuff too. Okay, so I just want you to know, I'm not expecting you to have all of this perfectly set up from the beginning, from the start. I think it is something that happens in layers and definitely shouldn't be the reason that you hold yourself back from getting your first clients or continuing to get clients, continuing to use your network and get people into your system without all of this set up. Now, keeping that in mind, I do also want to bring up that if your business is feeling harder than you were hoping it would feel or than it should be, if you're kind of spinning your wheels, trying to find paying clients, trying to get people into your programs or your courses or your workshops or whatever your paid offer is, then it is quite likely because one of these, at least, ingredients are missing or broken. So while I don't think and don't want these to be a requirement to you starting your business and getting it up and running, I also want you to look at this with an analytical kind of eye and see why it does feel hard, why something is broken, and where is that broken, and what can you do to fix it to make it easier on yourself. Okay. Last thing, one more thing before we get into this list. This is specifically for an online business. If you want your business to be mainly digital and virtual, then this is for you. If you have or want a local business, a brick and mortar, something like that, I feel like a lot of this will be the same. A lot of this still applies, but there are going to be different opportunities available to you that would potentially make more sense to get people in your actual door, like local opportunities versus maybe having a podcast or something like that, which you totally can still have, but you will want to explore more of your local marketing system too. Okay, the ingredients for a simplified flow business. And if you are more of a visual learner, you might want to actually create a little diagram of this. And just so you can see all of the pieces, how they all flow together, if that would help you. But I'm starting at the very end point, which is your paid offer. And that is the goal of having a business, is to, yes, help people and have freedom and all this stuff, but also to make money, right? That is when you are in business, is when you are making money. So your ingredients for a flow business have to include at least one paid offer. If you want it to be on the higher end of being more simplified and flowy, then you'll want to consider a paid offer that doesn't involve trading time for dollars. So that would be like a signature program or a course or something like that. And if you want help in creating that, the signature program bundle is available for you and will take the guesswork out of creating that type of paid offer in your business. But this isn't also a bash on one-on-one client work either. If that's the paid offer that you want, go for it. I only say that because, as you can probably guess, you will have a more limited time, flexibility, freedom kind of situation when you are taking clients one-on-one and meeting with them virtually or however you choose to do that. That will be less of that, but that doesn't mean that your business isn't going to be as simple or as flowy. It's just going to look a little different for you. And then also keep in mind that typically with the one-on-one client work, that also comes with more paperwork, more things to organize, more things to do and stay on top of for each client, more back and forth communication. So again, not like that simplified flow business isn't possible with that business model. It's just going to look different, and it is something for you to consider. But no matter what, you need at least one paid offer, which I think is pretty easy to do. And if you haven't done that yet, take some time to get very solid on what your paid offer is and make sure that it is enticing and appealing to your dream client. Okay, so we have that. That's the end goal. Now, the next thing you need in this whole system is a launch plan. So this is how you get people into your paid offer. And yes, this goes if you are doing just one-on-one client work right now, if you have a signature program, if you have a workshop or a paid masterclass or something like that. No matter what your paid offer is, you need a plan to get people in the door, to get people to say, yes, I want in, this is for me, I can't wait, I want to work with you, take my money. They're not just going to magically appear and say that. You need a plan in place to do that, to build excitement, build curiosity, showcase that product or service that you created, let them know it's the best solution for your dream clients, so that the logical next step is, hey, yes, sign me up. I want that. That is your launch plan. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people feel like is really complicated, takes a lot of time. A lot of people shy away from this like full-on launch plan, and then they don't make sales or they don't make the amount of sales, the number of sales they want or need. It can feel like a very big and overwhelming thing, but it doesn't have to be. It can actually be really fun. It can be really simple. And the best thing ever about it all is that as soon as you have created your launch plan, you can rinse and repeat over and over and over. It can and should be repeated. So that is why this is a built-in part of your simplified business plan, is because your launch is going to be something that you work on once and just keep repeating. And yes, there will be tweaks you make, certain things that did or didn't work. Maybe you have to replace an email or add or subtract a slide from your webinar template or something like that. But for the most part, it's done once and then lightly modified and done again and again and again. So that makes it really easy and a really important piece to your system. If you don't have this, like I mentioned, broken, majorly broken, you are not going to make the sales you want to make. You need a launch plan. Once again, this is the entire launch plan that you need is available in the Signature Program Bundle. So if you need help creating your launch plan, it is in there for you. Just create it. Follow the step-by-step, do every single thing I tell you to do, and you will have a great launch. And I have all the templates and everything you need too. All right, the next ingredient is an epic freebie. We just got done talking about this. We've talked about this a few episodes ago and how to know if your freebie is epic. But when you think about it in this overall flow of your business, I think it makes sense because you need an audience to launch your paid offer too. So we have that paid offer, we have that launch plan. Well, who are we going to do that launch plan with? And that is where your email list comes in, and your email list is built with your epic freebie. And you only need one. You don't need like a million freebies. You may need to create a few freebies until you find the one that is truly epic and that your audience is really interested in. But once you have it, then go with that one. You don't need a bunch of them. Just find the one that works for you and your dream clients. Now, once again, this is a situation where, yes, you have to create the freebie, which, it could be like a one-page PDF. It could be something really simple. It could be like a couple different recipes or something. And that could come together really quickly for you. And then create the landing page for that freebie, which I have exactly what to put on your landing page, again, in Signature Program Bundle. I know this sounds like basically this long commercial for Signature Program Bundle. I don't want it to be that. It's not meaning to be that, but just to show you that you have the resources available to you to make this happen in your business. I'm not just telling you to do all these things and then pushing you out like a new bird from the nest. No, I'm still here to support you and you have the resources you need. Okay. So just know that everything I talk about, I have done the work on my end to make it as easy as possible for it to work in your business. Okay. So once you have that freebie created and you have that landing page that is converting, that is enticing people to put their email address into the form and get the freebie and be on your email list, once all of that is working, then it is always working behind the scenes on autopilot. It is never not working, right? So you take the time, set it up, and then it's done. Going on behind the scenes for you. Okay, so once you have that epic freebie that is your audience for launching your paid offer, we have to make sure that audience gets warmed up properly to you and your work. So that is where a warm welcome sequence comes in. That's your next ingredient. So once someone signs up for your freebie and email list, they get this series of automated emails that welcome them properly to your world, to your work, to everything you do, to your personality, all that stuff. And it also means you don't ghost them. It's not like they sign up for this freebie and then don't hear from someone for even a week. Even if you email your list every week, but you don't have a welcome sequence in place, well, they may have signed up the day that you normally send your emails. So they go a whole week without hearing from you. And by the time that week is up, they have no idea who you are. They got that freebie so long ago, they may or may not have even looked at it yet, but there has been no follow-up on that. And so you have like ghosted them and they don't know who you are and they're not warmed up to you. They're just getting this random email. It doesn't make sense and you lost them. So that is where a email welcome sequence comes in. Once again, write it once, get it done, and it's done forever. It's constantly being delivered to those new people who come onto your email list automatically. You have that all set up. You don't have to think about it, worry about it. It's just happening. And I'm not going to say it again, but you know where to go if you need help with your welcome sequence. I'm not going to say it, but it's in there. It's in the one spot I've been talking about this entire time. Oh, and one more really great thing about welcome sequences is they can and should be pointing people to your other content, to your paid offers even. So depending on what your paid offer is, how hands-off it is or isn't, if it's an evergreen situation, or if you have a paid offer that is, then you may be making sales straight from your welcome sequence. If just say, for example, you have like an ebook that's $20 and your freebie is something kind of related to that ebook, well, then your welcome sequence can actually be a series of emails that gets them primed and ready to buy that ebook and then purchase right then and there. So if we're talking totally hands-off, totally simplified, totally flow, that is an option for you to do it right within the welcome sequence, which is entirely possible. Okay, moving on to the next ingredient, which is an evergreen content platform. Talked about this before too in detail, but this is really like having that blog, that podcast, that YouTube channel, that place where you are consistently putting out new content, but then that content lives on forever. That content is something that comes up in a Google search, or if someone's searching on the podcast platform for a specific topic, then that is something that can be going on behind the scenes for years and years and years to come, bringing in new eyes to your work and getting them introduced to your work really quickly and easily through that content, especially, well, really it goes for any of them. Like if it's a blog, then it's based on your writing and putting your personality and your brand into your writing. If it's your podcast, hearing you in their earbuds is a really easy way to connect with people. If you're a YouTuber and you want to do videos, seeing someone's face and their hand gestures and all that stuff is like this immediate connection point for people to get warmed up to you very quickly. So, I debated saying that this was an optional one, but I know you guys know I don't feel like it is. I think that it is just one of the best ways to get your work in front of more people, to build your email list, to market your paid offers. Like without me even thinking I was going to or trying, I've already talked about my paid offers like 5 or 6 times in this episode, just because that is naturally what's coming up as a resource to help you. And it's part of this conversation. It's just naturally coming up in conversation. And so you have the opportunity to do that in all of these platforms. But I think that this is probably the one of the ingredients that gets the most resistance or feels like the least flowy of these ingredients, and is not something a lot of people want to do or have time to do or feel like they can do. And I understand that. So that's why I do want to say, if this is just totally not you, if you just cannot get on any of these platforms, then if the rest of your system is working really well, that's fine. But if it's not, or if you want more enhancement of it, then you do need to really consider what your evergreen content platform will be. And know that it is such an integral part of the rest of your flow. Like it is what is allowing the rest of your business to flow, that it's worth it to sit down every week or every couple weeks and create new evergreen content. So create a new video, record a new podcast, write a new blog post, and get it out into the world. And again, it will live on forever, right? So keep that in mind, that while it is probably one of the things that takes the most consistent work, like it can't really be totally hands-off because you do need to keep creating content, but what you are creating is living on forever. It's not just like that week that you launch your podcast and then everyone listens and no one ever hears it again. You'll get downloads for that specific podcast episode for years to come. And that's really cool. And it makes it worth it and part of that flow system. All right. The next ingredient is a well-written, compelling, SEO-friendly website. This is like the energy of your flow business, of this whole system. If your business was a car, a vehicle, this would be the gasoline. Your website is the gasoline. It is that important. It is what makes it all run, because it gets fresh, new eyes on your work straight from Google, people who have literally no idea who you are, but then they come onto your website and they feel something and they experience something and they have that you get me moment and they are fans. So that is happening constantly behind the scenes every day. And then you have people coming in from social media maybe, or referrals or networking opportunities. You have all of these situations where the next step for people to go is your website. And it is the deciding factor of, am I sticking around and getting to know this person more and signing up for the freebie, looking at their paid offers, checking out their podcast, their blog, these things, or am I bouncing and going to find someone else? It is that important to this whole system. It is the thing that will get podcast subscribers or YouTube subscribers. It will definitely build your email list behind the scenes going on autopilot. So you have that epic freebie, and then it has this really amazing spot on your website that is compelling, and it really showcases exactly why that reader needs that freebie, and they sign up. All going on while you're hanging out with your family. This is all going on behind the scenes, right? So it's just such a big piece of that system. And then, once they become subscribers of your email list or even just of your podcast, then they are part of your audience. And that audience then goes on to get into the launch plan that you have and then into your paid offer. So seeing how this is all flowing from top to bottom, or really end result to beginning, I guess is more appropriate. And then the last ingredient, this is it. We're almost at the bottom of the list already. The last thing is a social media page. Just one, just pick one and do that one really well. And of course, we all have feelings about social media, I'm sure. And I know there's a lot of people who don't want to be on it at all. And if you don't, that's fine. But then of course, every other ingredient that I just went over has got to be dialed in, which it should be anyway. But if it's dialed in and you're super confident in how your whole system is flowing and getting you clients, then not being on social media at all is totally fine. But the thing is that if the rest of your flow is set up really well, which of course it will be and should be, then social media isn't as heavy. It doesn't feel as hard, as complicated. It's actually quite fun because you're not counting on your posts really doing all that much for you. You're just kind of using it as this enhancement, as this cherry on top, as this kind of immediate way to get content out in front of a few people, and knowing that everything else is going on really well on the back end and on autopilot, then you have the opportunity to play around with social media and make it an experiment and see what works and what doesn't and just have fun with it. And of course, yes, that is a place where people will go to your website after they see you on social media. They will potentially sign up for your freebie if you are talking about that on social media. So it is an avenue that shouldn't be totally counted out. And we actually can have a very different, way better relationship with it when it's not everything to your business. When you have things set up really well in every other area, then it's actually quite fun and isn't make or break in any way. Okay, so those are the ingredients. Let me see how many there are. I did not number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 ingredients of your simplified flow business. Now, what I typically see people have is 4 or 5 of them. So you have a paid offer. I think that that's probably the easiest thing to do because you need to have a paid offer to make money and to be in business. So that's really the first place we go, which is great. A lot of you have really great freebies too. You have awesome freebies. You're talking about your freebies every once in a while, which, I think could probably be talked about more, but you have these great freebies too, which is awesome. And some of you even have really great welcome sequences. You're really doing a good job in warming up your new audience members as they come onto your email list and giving them that great experience right away, which is cool. And then there are some of you who do have evergreen content platforms. You have started a podcast, you are showing up on YouTube, you are writing SEO optimized blog posts, you're doing the thing there too. Great. And then there may be a social media account that's kind of hit or miss. Kind of sometimes I post, sometimes I don't. I can't really figure out what to even post. I'm not posting things that feel like the most up-to-date thing to post. Not really working with the algorithm, but I'm posting. So we have some of that going on too. So like I said, 4 or 5 things that are going on to some degree and maybe working a little bit to some degree, but then there's still that struggle. There's the struggle to get clients, the struggle to grow their email list, the struggle to get subscribers on their content platforms. The overall growth isn't happening, and it starts to feel like a spinning the wheels type of situation. And so now that we have all of this laid out, you know the entire flow, the 7 pieces. Now I'm wondering if you can see why that would possibly be. It's because the flow hasn't been fully set up yet. And like I said, I don't expect you to have all 7 of these things perfectly in alignment before you get going and get started and your business takes off. I'm not saying that, but I want you to remember that if things aren't going the way you want them to go, what more of your flow do you have to work on? What's still out there for you to do? Because there's something. I know it. I know there's something that isn't yet working, that isn't yet aligned with the rest of your flow, okay? And the ones that I see that tend to be missing the most are the pieces of the puzzle that make money and get clients. Those are the things that are missing or broken or not working, which are your website and your launch plan. Those are the 2 big pieces that I see missing out of everyone's flow. And like I said, a lot of you have websites, but they're not optimized. They're not doing their job. They're not really doing anything. They're kind of dormant. And a lot of you have these paid offers that you do occasionally talk about and try to get people into. And that's not working either because it's not a comprehensive launch plan. It's just you talking about something, which isn't really that exciting. It doesn't create that level of excitement you need to get someone to pull out their credit card. Okay, so those are the 2 things that I see missing in most people's flow businesses. And so if you're listening to this right now and you are very much feeling in that place of, I want more clients, it's not happening, I'm not making the money I want to make, I'm not getting the growth I thought I would get and that I want to get, then go through this system and see what is broken in yours. What is missing? What is broken? That is what you are basically kind of always thinking about and always going back to, knowing that this is the overall flow and what needs more attention, I guess, what needs to be redone, needs to be reconsidered, reworked, where is it time to upgrade? Those are all the things that are kind of always going on in the background as you continue to create this business. And I also want to make it very clear that I am totally aware that it takes time and energy to get all of this set up. I don't expect you to have this all set up in a week or a month even. It takes time, and that's part of the process. And like I said, I have done what I can do to take the guesswork out of it, to save you as much time and energy as possible so that your entire flow business can be up and running on the back end, in the background, on autopilot, where you're out living and enjoying your life and still having that growth and getting your work in front of new eyes and getting people signing up for your email list and all of these things that are needed to grow your business are all set up and working appropriately and making your business simple and flowy and feel good and fun. That is the goal here. All right, I will leave it at that. Again, if you would like any help in any of this, just shoot me a DM over on Instagram and we can talk about it and figure out what's the best first step or next step for you, where you should go, where things might be broken or incomplete in your system, and get them up and running. So at Shawn Mynar on Instagram, would love to hear from you. All right, until next time, take care. Hey friends, Shawn here. And if you're a coach or practitioner who's looking to help more people make more money and have more free time, then I have a special invitation for you that you don't want to miss. Right now, I'm hosting a free masterclass that will walk you through the process of adding a signature program to your business. As many of you know, the Signature Program business model has been my primary way of doing business since 2017. And after 7 programs of my own created and helping dozens of other wellness pros create theirs, I'm now sharing my exact process with you for free in this 1-hour masterclass. Now you might be thinking, Shawn, I'm just not ready to have my own program yet, or I don't have the time to build a program right now. Are you crazy? I totally get it. I get all of it, which is exactly why I created this training in the first place. I want you to see how possible this really is for you and how simple it can be when you have a tried and true proven system in place, no matter where you're at in your business today. So if you're like most coaches and practitioners who have a dream of creating a scalable offer in their business that helps the people they're meant to help without it being directly tied to your time and energy, then there's a seat with your name on it inside my Burnout Proof Your Business Masterclass. In just 1 hour, you're going to learn why adding a signature program will uncap your income potential forever and give you more time for your own life, health, family, and self-care. You'll learn exactly how my client sold out her first program, even with a small audience, because of this one super simple marketing hack that I am going to reveal. You'll learn the simplified, foolproof process that will take your knowledge and experience and turn it into your own program in just 6 weeks. And also how to implement an automated marketing system that will grow an engaged audience full of perfect match clients that can't wait to enroll in your program once it's ready, even if right now you're starting at 0. All you have to do is head to shawnmynar.com/burnoutproof and save your seat for this masterclass before it's gone. shawnmynar.com/burnoutproof. Can't wait to see you there.